going on, party people? Back to some more Babymonochrome action. This is a round 5 losers bracket match between Winterbub and Ambipongus. And yeah, here we go. So Winterbub, a player who has played quite a bit of singles. First of all, they have a YouTube page. I highly recommend checking it out. I'll be sure to link it somewhere in this video. If it's not in the title, I'll link a YouTube page in the description of this video. But yeah, very active singles player, but as far as I'm aware, pretty new to Little Cup going into this tournament. So the fact that they made it here to round 5 is quite impressive. And they absolutely destroyed me, was it last round or 2 rounds ago? I can't remember. But I was in this tournament at one point. And Ambipongus, who honestly I really don't know too much about them going into this tournament, but seems to be quite the capable Little Cup player and fellow Canadian as well. So we have a fellow YouTuber and a fellow Canadian. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, okay, so Winterbub bringing a Frillish, a Dwebble. Now, probably looking like this is a hazard setting Dwebble, just looking at the team here. An Abra, Diglett, a Drifloon, and a Magnemite. I almost said Manectric, okay. A Magnemite, which is actually looking to target 2 Steel types in this match, as Ambipongus is bringing both a Pawniard and a Ferroseed. Mainly the Ferroseed being the thing you're going to want to try to trap with that Magnemite. So Ambipongus is going to have to play quite carefully around that thing. But overall, quite the offensive team from Winterbub. Maybe leaning on that Frillish a little bit on the defensive side. Or maybe it's got something in store that I don't really know what it's going to do. This might be maybe more of like an offensive one that I just don't know. But it's probably looking just to maybe take hits from a certain Pokemon that I can't quite think of. As for Ambipongus, bringing 2 fighting types to this one. Now, a little bit of a rough matchup as you're going in against 2 ghost types and an Abra, which can outspeed both. Granted, maybe if you get enough prior damage on that Abra, you might be able to take it out with a Mach Punch, but there is a Pawniard to help complement those 2 Pokemon in terms of at least dealing with Abra. Not to mention a Volibee, which could be helpful in that regard. Likewise with Ferroseed. Now, Gastly's not going to be able to outspeed that Abra, but it should be able to punch a hole through the Frillish rather, and maybe that Drifloon before it gets an Unburden boost, which I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, anyways, we'll get into it. Terrible team preview analysis on my part, but whatever, let's get into it. It's been a long day. Pawniard lead from Ambipongus, double lead from Winterbub, looking to set up hazards. No clicks knockoff right away on the Mindfu. Loses its Violite. Gets out of there, switches into Drifloon to take a knockoff. Now Unburden should be activated as it loses its Flying Gen. In comes Ferroseed. As this Drifloon just sets up a sub, and then fires off an Acrobatics for 31%, as Ferroseed just looks to set up Stealth Rocks. And just staying in here with the Drifloon rather than trying to trap it with the Magnemite. I don't know, I maybe would have given up that sub just to trap it, but we'll see. Just staying in, spamming Acrobatics, letting Drifloon kind of get whittled down here by the Iron Barbs. Manages to survive, though, in the end, as Ferroseed just gets away with only getting up rocks. In comes Volibee, switching to Manectric here, as Volibee sets up a sub. Gets an Air Slash off on the Magnemite, as it just fires off a T-Bolt. Not a Choice Scarf Magnemite. And then switches up the moves into Volt Switch, so not choice of any variety. In comes Frillish, switching in on the Timber here. Fires off a Surf for 29%. And then knocks that thing out clean with the Payback, so that's going to help Ambipongus break Winterbub's team with those fighting types. That will play a part, considering Drifloon's going to dry to rocks here, so kind of leaning on that Abra right now to put in some work late game, but you still got to get through 2 dark types, and a Pawniard that hasn't even seen the field yet, which, I mean, you got to think that's Sucker Punch. Set up Stealth Rocks from Dwebble, as the Timber sets up a Bulk Up, and it has to take a knockoff from the Dwebble, and then Drain Punch for 68% gets most of that HP back. This is a Custaff Dwebble, able to get up a Spike too, so a little bit of a parting gift that should help, but you got to get through this Timber now. Abra would be the Pokemon to do it, as Ambipongus just sacking Timber, just getting the Mach Punch to break the Sash there. where you assume the sash. In comes Pawnyard here. Pursuit, and it doesn't look like Abra tried to switch out there, so this is in all alright, this has to be a choice scarfed Pawnyard unless you're running like slow Abra for some reason. So Scarf Pawnyard being able to knock out that Abra with the Pursuit, that's quite huge because that was a huge threat, especially for the Ghastly, not to mention the Mind Fu rate. So yeah, let's keep going here. In comes Diglett, traps the Pawnyard. You want to see what Winterbub has to say there. Dang it. Tried to Encore Sucker. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so fires off the Pursuit. Again, Choice Scarf. Still able to break the balloon. Gonna fall to an Earthquake. Pawnyard couldn't switch out there anyways. In comes Volibee. Takes the final Gambit. A little bit of a parting gift. The thing's at least not able to set up like a nasty... or actually, it would have been able to if it clicked it, but anyways. Magnemite comes out here. Fires off a T-Bolt. In comes Mind Fu for Ambipongus. Takes some hazards, but threatening a high jump kick as they just click it. Drifloon's gonna die to rocks, so that is a GG. And Ambipongus is up 1-0 in this loser's bracket round 5 match here. Let's get into game 2. All right, here we go. Game 2. Winterbub, Ambipongus up 1-0 here. Let's get into it here. So Winterbub bringing quite a standard team here. You have a Mind Fu, a Ghastly, a Volibee, Nita, Seymour. Of course, you got the Excadrill as well. Maybe looking to be Choice Scarf. We'll have to find out, unless this is the one they brought against me, which was a Violate, and I assumed it was Choice Scarf the whole time. Kind of misplaying around that. A Ferroseed and an Abra. Man, I'd be curious to look back on the replays and see if this is the team he brought against me when we went at it. Ambipongus bringing Hail. Hail making me think that might be an Overcoat Volibee. We'll have to wait and see. Bringing the Pawnyard back as well for yet another game. Maybe to put in some big work against that Abra. It worked out in game 1. Definitely the MVP of game 1 in my opinion there. A Mind Fu, a Staryu, of course a Snover to set up the Hail, and a Ghastly of their own. So both players bringing some similar Pokemon. And both players bringing pretty offensive looking teams, I would say. Let's get into it. Ferroseed lead from Winterbub, Volibee lead from Ambipongus. Fires off a Taunt right away. Okay, great play. Can't get off a T-Wave, and then goes for the knockoff to get rid of that thing's a Violate, you'd think. Yep. Actually has T-Bolt to help the Volibee, and gets the Para anyway, so there you go. Winterbub switching into Volibee here. Gonna get a weak armor boost from the Brave Bird. And takes a bit of recoil. As Winterbub's actually able to knock out that Volibee with a Brave Bird of their own. In comes Pawnyard. Volibee actually outspeeds and clicks knockoff, so this is not a Choice Scarf Pawnyard. It actually has Stealth Rocks. Makes sense now that you look at the team. Let's go for another Brave Bird, and that thing's going to drop to an Iron Head. So this is looking like to be in a Violate Pawnyard. In comes Drillbur, threatening an Earthquake, but opts to Rapid Spin instead, as Pawnyard clicks Iron Head for 55%. Sucker Punch fails as Drillbur just sets up Stealth Rocks here. Good play by Winterbub, but it's going to drop to another Sucker Punch after that. In comes Mind Fu. Ambipongus opting to set up the Rocks as maybe Winterbub predicted in the switch there. Clicks the U-turn. In comes Ferroseed. He's going to be able to knock out that Pawnyard with a T-Bolt before getting paralyzed just before that, of course. Mind Fu switching here. Sets up a sub as that Ferroseed gets fully paralyzed. Nice. Lands the high jump kick. That's going to drop, especially with the Violate knocked off. In comes Abra. It has to break a sub here. Hopefully this thing is sashed, as it is. Takes a payback. And Abra is able to just fire off a Psychic to knock that thing out. But the sash has been broken. In comes Ghastly. And Ghastly kicks Shadow Ball here. Is this thing Choice Scarfed? Certainly playing like it is. Maybe if they switch out here. Could be Snover coming in here, setting up that Hail. Big high jump kick miss by the Mind Fu. That's unfortunate. And drops to Hail. That is pretty crappy for Winterbub. In comes Ghastly, going to knock out the Snover with a Sludge Bomb. As opposing Ghastly comes out, I do suspect this is Choice Scarf. It either won a speed tie or it was Choice Scarf. I guess we're going to find out on this turn, weren't we? Yes, that is a Choice Scarf Ghastly. So there you have it. Choice Scarf Ghastly. Interesting bring. I feel like we haven't seen that too much, but not really a surprising Pokemon to see. I might have said it was surprising, but whatever. It was a long day. And I'm very happy I was able to get out a recording, a commentated match tonight, round 5. This was a fun one. And Ambipongus moving on to round 6 of Loser's Bracket. Winterbub is out of the tournament. Put up quite the fight, I would say. Quite the showing in this tournament, especially for someone who, again, assuming doesn't play too much World Cup. I think they did a great job, and I'll be sure to link Winterbub's YouTube channel in the description of this video. And be sure to stay tuned for more Babymonochrome action. Thanks for watching. Peace.